It's time for
It's Fanboy Weekly for all you geeks, nerds, and blurs. Let's get our geek on.
Welcome back to Fanboy Weekly. I am David, the host of the 5x5, and we're sitting here, I'm sitting here, winding down from Mother's Day weekend. I hope each and every one of you guys had a wonderful Mother's Day today. That's why the show's a little early today, because I wanted to still be on Mother's Day, although my Mother's Day came to an end earlier because we were kind of finished with what we were doing and hung out, and so it was a good weekend. This was my first weekend off in a year. Now I've had a Saturday off here. I was off last Saturday for Free Comic Book Day, and then I have a few days here and there off, but I haven't had a Saturday and Sunday consecutively off in over a year. So that was kind of fun for me because I did get to do some things for myself. Not a lot. I did a lot of running. As I said earlier, having days off work is almost like not having a day off at all, because I've done so. I've done so much. I've done a lot of stuff this weekend, and I'm like, yeah, it's it's time to go back to work, so I won't have to be as busy. Although my last day at work, which was what's today, was Friday night, I was finishing up a whole bunch of stuff, so I wouldn't have a lot of stuff to come back in tomorrow. So I just got a lot going on, which I could not have a job, so I need to stop complaining about it. But like I said, I hope you guys are doing well. I ended my Mother's Day weekend, and I didn't take my mom, but I ended it with the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And if you haven't seen it, I might give a spoiler or two, so you might want to, for the next 5-10 minutes, fast forward or something, because what's going on here? I'm going to give you my views on the movie. It was okay. I think Jamie Foxx did a phenomenal job as Electro. It was for me, it was very reminiscent of the game, the Ultimate Alliance game, because there's a part, I can't remember if it's the first one, where you had to fight Electro. So it's kind of reminiscent of that. But Jamie Foxx had all the best action scenes. Even though Spider-Man, there was some parts where I could really tell it was CGI, which that's the day and age we live in. It's going to be on there. We're going to have CGI on the movies. But it was very early on, I guess, till my eyes got acclimated to what was going on, I guess, or I wasn't paying so much attention. I'm like, wow, that's CGI. Ooh, that's CGI. And I was like, that's very early on when he's doing a lot of the web slinging through the city. I was like, yeah, and I didn't like that as much. They spent a lot of time to give you different angles and different perspectives on him swinging, and to make it really realistic, which was good. He was running across the buildings and things like that. But it was cool, and I like that. It's Spider-Man, and I still have to say, with Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man number 2, I still like the first two. Actually, I like all three of the first Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, and of course James Franco as Harry Osborn. So I even and I like Emma Stone. I like her as Gwen Stacy. And they pulled this pretty much right out of the comic books for some of the stuff that happens that you can't negate when you're telling a comic book story on the big screen. Um, and I had read, because Spider-Man came out last weekend. I had read, I don't mind a spoiler. I know some people do, so I kind of knew what was going to happen, even from the comic book. I knew it. Gwen Stacy's fate was inevitable. I thought that she may, and I read an article as well that they may extend it 3 movies because they have awesome chemistry together. From what I read. Sony and Marvel, they wanted to end the Gwen Stacy love interest so Peter could eventually come back or find Mary Jane Watson. So that's going to happen, obviously, in the third movie. I expect Venom to be in the third movie. Um, they almost have to do it, which would be kind of weird if they do Venom in the third movie, because the Tobey Maguire movie was in the third movie as well, which I happen to like. Some people didn't like it, but I happen to like it. I have all 3 of the originals, and I won't buy these 2. So if that's any indication, and for me, and I keep on saying for me, again, and to me, this Peter Parker Spider-Man, he was awfully whiny. And this was really a love story dressed up with superheroes and special effects. That's what it seemed like. And at one point, I closed my eyes because I was bored. Isn't that bad? I mean, I should be all gung ho, but I'm not a Spider-Man comic book collector. Years ago, that was one of my first superheroes that I liked when I was a kid. I had Spider-Man pajamas and the Underoos, and I used to watch the Spider-Man live action television show when his web was like ropes. Remember that? And I think that guy's still living as well too. He actually goes to some of the cons. I can't think of his name right now. So so it was definitely, it was entertaining, when it got closer. But when it finally got to the action, when it was finally like, okay, this is ready to go down, um, it was like sped up, and then it was over. It was over. Then they threw one more scene with the Rhino character at the very end, which I like how they did Rhino. I don't see how they was going to do like the comic book Rhino. And I guess they could have been all CGI. They done the Hulk, but I like how they did it. It's a machine, and I like that. I like that part of it. But it was what, 5 minutes, if that, and it was, yeah. I would have been let down because I was planning on going during Free Comic Book Day last weekend, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I would have been let down. That would have spoiled my buzz off of Free Comic Book Day. So you guys can tell me what you thought of the movie. You can always send me a tweet at the 5x5 on Twitter, or check out the blog and leave a comment, because this podcast will be on the blog, the 5x5.blogspot.com, and both the Twitter address and the blog, the 5s are numeric, or you can hit me up on Facebook, the 5x5, completely spelled out. So just tell me what you thought of the movie. If you liked it, would you rent it? Would you buy it? Would you see it again? I'm not too sure. Or leave a comment here on Spreaker.com. I know I won't watch it again. I won't sit through that. Although Jamie Foxx, I think he killed it. I think he did a phenomenal job as Electro, and it was good. It was good for him. So if I was going to rate this movie 1 to 10, I would give it. I'll give it a 5. It's in the middle of the road for me on that. The first one I think was a little better, actually. It for me, it would got a 7. And then if I'm looking at the Spider-Man movies that Tobey Maguire was in, the first one 9, the second one 8, The third one 8. So that's how I rate those movies. But I'd like to hear how you feel. So, guys, what did you do for Mother's Day? I took my mom. Well, I didn't take her anywhere actually. I did a lot of running on Saturday because I knew I had a lot of running to do. My sister cooked this huge killer breakfast, Mother's Day breakfast to kick off Mother's Day weekend. A killer breakfast that was so good. I was thinking about that breakfast. I don't have time to eat breakfast a lot, but breakfast is my favorite food of all time. Um, my favorite food of type of meals during the day. Breakfast would be my favorite. Hey, what's up, Prankville? What's going on there? How you doing? Friend of the show and a friend of mine, Todd Morris, Prankville, is sitting in the chat room listening to me nerd out about Mother's Day and comic books and movies and stuff like that. Thank you for joining me. Hope you're doing good. Happy Mother's Day. I guess you're not a mother, so but you have a mama, so happy Mother's Day. My sister cooked this really big breakfast, and so we started out over there at my sister's house, and we had breakfast and fellowship and hung out. Dearly good. Hallelujah. And so that's my really bad attempt at Medea. I'm sorry. And so after that, my niece and I, she had to do some Mother's Day shopping, and I did too. And it was funny because it was just going to be me and my niece. I know if it's me and my niece, we could run, get our stuff done, and be crazy and have fun. And my nephew, he remembered that I told him I was off this weekend and that we would hang out on Saturday, and then we would go see Spider-Man. And so that was supposed to be yesterday. And so when he thought he wasn't going, he's like, Uncle David, you promised you was going to spend the day with me, blah, blah, blah. Because my nephew loves spending time with his Uncle David. We have a good time together. And so he ended up going with us. So, but we had like a tornado the Friday before. Friday evening, my little city had a tornado. It didn't hit my part of the town, my part of the city, but it did hit the north side of the city. And I wanted to go out there because there's a comic book store out there that's going out of business and they're having a crazy sale. So I've been completing some of my story arcs, completing some of the runs of particular characters, trying to find some first appearances, and especially when you have 50% off, that's rare to find. And a lot of his books are $1. So if I can get 50 cents books, and I'm like, I can take 20 bucks out there and get 40 comic books, right? And then I didn't realize he had quarter books. So, and they're not in the best condition, but they're good for your stock, for your collection, just to have, not to resell or make any money off of. So the quarter books were $12.50. 12 cents. And so we went out there first, and just seeing the city on that part of the town where the tornado has struck, and it was trees down and houses, roofs were gone. It was like kind of a war zone, and I'm like, wow. So we went to the comic book store, and we was talking to the owner, and he was like, he lives in that part of town. He was okay, but he was having some problems with his cell phone and home phone and cable and stuff like that, and internet. What we do, we're so used to being connected all the time. When that inconvenience happens, you're a little bit lost, But he's a comic book dude, so he should just pick up some comic books and read them until the stuff comes back on. I would go crazy too if my cell phone internet went out and my cable and my house internet went out. I'd probably be a little weirded out. I could find something to do, or I'd probably just go to sleep, honestly. So Prankville, what did you do for Mother's Day, if anything? And so we went out there. So ton of books. And so I'm so obsessive when it comes to stuff. I had a list. It was a tornado. Yeah. But I'm good. I didn't get hurt. I was at work when it was going down, but the south part of town was just the power went out for a little bit. It was barely we were barely touched. A lot of rain. We didn't get the straight line winds and the tornado down here like they got north of me. But this town is small, so it's not, the north side is not that far from the south side. You can get from the south side to the north side in about 10 minutes, if less, 5 minutes. It's not that far. But thanks, Prank. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. And so I get out there because I'm so obsessive. I had a list of things I wanted to get, and I'm like, okay, I need to complete my list. And on my list that I had, if I can find my notepad, I had it on my cell phone, so I know I wouldn't forget it. I had on my list was Magique. If you remember Magique, it was a four-part X-Men miniseries that dealt with Peter Rasputin, aka Colossus' little sister, who had been pulled into the Belasco demon realm, where he was turning her into a dark child demon. And there was variations of the X-Men characters, like Storm was a sorceress, Nightcrawler was a true demon, Kitty Pryde had been turned into a real cat. And there's different things. And this is all around the time, maybe a little bit after Days of Future Past, which that movie's coming out on this month, X-Men. So I wanted Magique because I've had the series before. But like I told you guys before, there's a time in my life I didn't take care of my comic books the way I should. I probably have I probably have about $5,000 worth of comic books that I messed up, that are not in pristine condition anymore. And that's, at that point in time, I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to mess with them. But I'm paying for it now because I don't have them. But so Magique was a 4-part series. I was able to get 1, 3, and 4. So I need 2. I was able to get the Superman Wonder Woman New 52 comic that's out. Enjoying that a lot. But it's pretty new, so I needed 2, 3, and 4, so I was able to get those. Firestar was another one. If you remember back the Saturday morning cartoon, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and Firestar was one of the Amazing Friends because she was a mutant, so was Iceman, and so they had a 4-part. She had a 4-part miniseries as well. That was on my list, so I was able to get, I think, 3 of those, 1, 2, and 3, and I think I still need 4. So I'll find that somewhere, hopefully. And then Firestorm, which was the Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Men, that came out in 2011. That was written by Gail Simone. I think I'm right, and so I wanted this story because it's pretty collectible because they ended its run in 2012, but it had 21 issues. So I was able to almost complete my run of Firestorm. I had purchased some ones online, but there are a few that are eluding me. I need number 5, number 10, number 11. So if anybody can give me 5, 10, or 11, I'd appreciate it. So Prank, I'm going to need you to go to your comic book store and find me some comic books, just so you know. I wanted some Uncanny X-Men in the 380s because that was a storyline that I liked. That was like from 375 to like 390. The whole U box was gone. Somebody had bought the whole box, but he said he's going to restock. So I'm probably going to go back out there. What's today? Tomorrow will be Monday, so I might go out there sometime this week, maybe Thursday evening, just to check out, see if he's restocked anything. So I didn't get any of those. Astonishing X-Men number 51. I can't find this book anywhere. I did find 50. Because I was wondering, I looked today and I was like, where's 50 at? The issue 50 is not here. I bought it during Free Comic Book Day. But I wanted 51 because it was the wedding of North Star and his boyfriend. I think it was the very first gay wedding in a comic book. So that's pretty collectible. So I need to find that, so I don't have it. And then Phoenix, I bought the Phoenix End Song and Phoenix War Song issues. Phoenix End Song was the resurrection of Jean Grey, where she is completely one with the Phoenix, and she goes off into space to find all of her missing pieces. Then comes back again. Well, the Phoenix does as during the Avengers versus X-Men. If you guys have read that story, which I didn't because there was too many books to reread, and it was weekly books. And it was like 3 or 4 of them. I wasn't doing it, but anyhow, I wanted the Phoenix End Song. And I was able to get 2 and 5. I need 1, 3, and 4. I actually went to a store today while I was picking up dinner for my mother and I, and we they didn't have. Well, he didn't want to go up there and check, so I didn't want to bother him. So I let it go. I did get almost the whole Phoenix War Song, and there's like the last 2 or 3 issues I need of it, which that's when the Stepford Cuckoos still have a part of the Phoenix, and we find out that they are part of the Weapons Plus program, and then they're like kind of robots and stuff. So that's what I did first on Mother's Day weekend. When we come back, I'll tell you about the rest of my Mother's Day weekend. Thank you guys for listening. It is David from the 5x5, and this is Fanboy Weekly. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be right back.
Here we go. Embrace the taste.
Setting your sights high, nothing can pull you down. Oh, what's in your mind's eye has taken shape and sound. Look at the people, all quite a lot like you. So take down your one steeple, let your love shine through. Let your love shine through. Yeah, it's up to you. Let your love shine through.
I worked really hard until I had risen. Then I went underground into a self-imposed prison. Meditated for years, just waited for a vision until I understood that it all resides within my mental sight and my physical grasp. It's one moment at a time, and you can save one task. Now, if I have any questions, I don't need to ask, because the spirit is deep and the mind is vast.
No, I'm not gonna wait for this rain to dissipate. No time to waste. Life's too short not to taste and embrace this moment.
And we're back. Welcome back to the 5x5 Fanboy Weekly. I'm your host, David. And we're nerding out again like we do every Sunday night. A little early tonight because I want to go to bed because I haven't had any sleep really this week. The one thing I do regret, I had a headache this morning, and this is just an excuse, I guess, and I didn't get to go to church with my mother on Mother's Day. So that wasn't good because she wanted me to go, and I didn't do it. So That kind of sucks. But lately I've been crafting different comic book esque things, trying to come up with something to sell on my website that's original. And not that I'm an artist by any means, but I might be. I just might be. Um, but so with what I've learned from doing that, I was able to make my mother a personal gift, which I think she liked the best. I made her a necklace that I had Mod Podged, and I bought the little necklace thing from Joanne Fabrics, but and then I found a picture of my grandmother, which I have to say I love my mother dearly. I do, and but my grandmother, grandmothers are special, and I just it was just while I was doing it, I was getting a little sentimental because um, she's probably was and not even being biased, she probably was the kindest person that I've ever known thus far in my lifetime, and I don't think there will be anybody else to compare to her kindness. But mainly because probably because maybe there is some bias because she spoiled me a lot. And not with gifts and things, just, affection. I remember going to her house and all the neighborhood kids loved my grandmother. But if somebody was sitting on my grandmother's lap when I came to the house, I've always, been I like being first. I like being number one. Um, but I would make them get off my grandmother's lap because I was her grandson, and I would be mean with it. I would like go find your own grandma. Isn't that mean? I was a mean kid. When it came to her, and she was like, David, don't be like that. I'm like, no, you're my grandmother. And I was very, very possessive of my grandmother. And I would, if I knew I was ready to get a spanking, I would call my grandma. I'm like, Grandma, I got in trouble. Mama's ready to spank me. And my grandmother would come get me, and I go to her house. It was nothing my mom could do. Although I did pay for it eventually, but at that time when I knew it was going to happen, Grandma, you need to come up here because I think Mama's ready to put me, and I don't got time for that. You come get me, and here she come. 'Cause I'd call my mom all the time. She's fussing at me, Grandma. Can you talk to her? So miss her a lot. Sometimes you think you forget what grandparents mean to you, um, and then when you think about them, you're like, oh, that feeling never left, the gone but not forgotten type of thing. And so today, or between last night and today, she's been on my mind a lot. I'm actually looking at one of her pictures right now, one of my favorite pictures of my grandmother. But my mom, even though we definitely have our struggles, because my mom is, we're two sides of the same penny. We're so alike, very, very headstrong. And normally when two headstrong people are together, there's going to be some clashing. But I wrote my mother a really nice letter in her Mother's Day card, and made her that. Not that that was a personal touch, making her something. Then she wore it all day. I just actually took it off of her when I went over to check on her, and she. She had it on, and she was just staring at it because she was very, of course, she's very fond of her mother, and she misses her daily. And but my mom and I, she didn't want to go out to dinner, so she says, well, she loves taco. So I don't know if you guys have hacienda restaurants in your cities, but we have a restaurant here, which I'm fond of on Tuesday nights because you can get half off margaritas. But they do have some good Mexican. It's more to me, it's Tex-Mex, Mexican food, and she wanted a taco salad. That's all she wanted because they had this big taco salad would have like cheese and chicken and all that stuff in it. And so I went and got that for us, some chips. So we had a nice little mother-son lunch dinner today, and I got her some other things. One thing One thing we've been dealing with lately, and I know this is normally this is like a 5 by 5 late night show. I'm not going to talk too much more about my personal Mother's Day, but I bought her a big one of those dry erase boards with like for a calendar, because we've been getting some wires crossed about appointments and things and places we need to be. So when she told me, she's like, "What'd you give me that for?" I'm like, "Because we need to." She's like, "Oh, so you didn't get it for me?" She said, "You bought that for you." I'm like, "I bought it for us." So I'll put down my schedule, although you should know it. And then you can plug in your doctor's appointments or wherever you need to go, hair appointments, and then we'll go from there. And so she's like, mm-hmm. And got her some other things. But it was a nice Mother's Day. Like I said, I ended it with my sister, my niece, and my nephew to go see Spider-Man 2, and they had these really cool, and this was a fanboy gift. If you follow me on Instagram, one funny guy, the number one FUNNYGUY, you will see that I scored a AMC. I don't know if they had them in your city. AMC had these. They call it a Spidey suit for your cell phone, and it's probably it's pretty cool, although it covers up my camera, so I don't know how that's going to work. I'm probably not going to keep it on there, but it's a little plastic sheath that hooks around your phone, and the back has a Spider-Man emblem on it. So check that out on One Funny Guy on Instagram to see that picture. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, well, it was free, so why not? So we all actually walked out of there at one. But I was looking it up because I didn't know what they were calling it. It's not really a cell phone cover or case. It's just like a little plastic doodad that kind of wraps around the back of your phone. Anyhow, that's it. I'm gonna give you guys my favorite mother superheroes or comic book characters that I like, and that'll be toward the end of the show. But what else? So I did the shopping at the comic book store. I told you about that. Oh, and so I won a $50 Amazon gift card earlier this week. So it's like on Monday or Tuesday. I got the stuff on the 9th, which was Friday. So it was Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, wow. I'm going to use this to buy some trade paperbacks. I know Amazon sells trade paperbacks online. And if you sign up for their Prime service, you get free 2-day delivery. So I'm like, that's a win-win, because after I spend the $50, I'm probably not going to order anything else from them. And then I'm going to cancel the Prime subscription because I don't need it, for one. And I just thought it was cool. So that's what I did. So I ordered Saga. I've gotten into the Saga comic book. So I'm trying to catch up so I can start buying the issues. Although Saga, you can buy the Image is offering what they're calling Image First, like the DC Essentials books. They'll give you a number one like for $1, and it's a reprint. And so they do have the first issue, and I get the first issue free on Comixology. So if you hey Blake and Jade, guys, I listen to your show. I absolutely love you guys. Very, 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 very funny. Yeah, Blake and Jay's in the chat room, everybody. They have a very, 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 very funny, delightful show. I like listening to them. I liked it. Nice touch. I'm talking about comic books. I don't know if you guys are into comic books or like comic books, but that's what we do on Sunday nights here at the 5x5. And so I'm into Saga, and I got the free copy off of Comixology, and I also got the free first issue on Comixology of Chew. And now Chew is a little bit older comic book. Saga is not that old, but Chew is. And Chew, oh, Jay's not, but he is. Well, cool, Blake. You should join me one day on my other show called Comic Booked, where I really talk about comic books. This is just a fanboy show. I talk about comic books and other fanboy stuff that's going on. So Saga, which is not for kids, my nephew wanted the book, and I'm like, yeah, you can't have this because there's naked people in all through the book. I just finished volume one. There's naked people all through the book, and there's penises and breasts and people having sex and pedophilia and all kind of craziness. And my favorite character so far, and I need to get me one, is the lying cat. Is that what it's called? Lying cat? Because if somebody's is telling a lie, he goes lying. It's so funny. I love it. And I just happened upon this comic because everybody has been talking about it. It's an Eisner Award winning comic. It's won just about every award. My kind of book. Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. If you download the Comixology app, Blake, you can download the first issue for free, and it's pretty darn interesting. And there's my buddy Ken Boggle. My friends, all my friends are here tonight. How you guys doing, Ken? Sorry, Ken, earlier. I was talking to Ken earlier online, and I was kidnapped by my sister, and I went to see Spider-Man 2. That's why I kind of dropped off the face of the earth when we were talking earlier. So Ken meet Blake and Jay. Blake and Jay meet Ken. And Prank. I think Prank took off. And so Saga is really, really good. It's a great story. And it's kind of, I was kidnapped. It's kind of, you can see it being relating to interracial relationships and all the problems that they can have, and then set that on a galactic scale, and then you have Saga. And so I bought these books from Amazon because I won that $50 Amazon gift card, right? And so, not that I'm a stickler for quality, but the Saga Volume 1, Saga Volume 2, and Saga Volume 3, they were all warped like they were in water. And this is from Amazon.com. They was all warped like they were in water. And I don't have the paper in front of me how much they cost. They weren't expensive. I think the volume 1 was like $7 or $8. Volume 2 was like $10, and then volume 1 of Chew was like $8.99. And if you guys haven't read Chew, it's a book to pick up. If you can get the trades, go to your local comic book store and support them, and you can pick up the trade. It's a great story. It's about people who have superpowers, but all their superpowers are derivative from food. Like the main character, Chew, anything he eats, he gets a psychic flash from the history and the future, or what's going to happen. I think it's Symbiopath is what he's called, a Symbiopath. Really interesting. But then all these subsequent characters in the book, something with food. Like there's a writer, and I forget what the name is. She writes so descriptively. Her power is that you can taste what she's writing. And then there's another character in Chew that he's a barista, and he can control your mind by writing a message in the foam on top of your coffee. So very, very well thought of. It's won a ton of awards too. Great artwork. But anyhow, back to Amazon.com. So they were warped. And I'm like, so I was sitting there looking at them. I'm like, do I say anything? Do I make a big issue over these comic books that they were really free, but I won the gift card? I could have bought something else. NCY girl, yeah, unfortunately you don't know how to act. Anyhow, so I was like, do I really want to fuss about this or anything? So I did. I sent a email, a chat to I sent an email, a chat to Amazon, and I think they gave me a discount. Ended up being like $9, which I ended up buying something else with. But it was like they was giving me a lot of attitude, and I'm like, y'all really don't give me attitude about something y'all sent me poorly? I want my comic books and things like that in flat condition. But we'll finish that story. We're gonna take another quick break, and we'll be right back. Thank you guys for listening. It is Fanboy Weekly here on the 5x5. We'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you guys for checking out Fanboy Weekly here on the 5x5. I'm your host, David, and I'm sitting here chatting with friends Ken Boggle, Blake and Jade, and Prankville, Todd Morris, and talking about Japanese graphic novels. I haven't read any, and so for some reason I can't get into anime. I've tried, and I just can't. I can't get into it. I don't know why. I think it was if I sat there and read something that has, a little critical acclaim, and then everybody is telling me this is what you have to read. I think I would get into it more. Because I've watched Dragon Ball Z. I guess Sailor Moon, does that count? Does Sailor Moon count? I've seen Sailor Moon. but I haven't ever read a graphic novel, a Japanese graphic novel, and from what I hear, they're extremely popular. And my cousin, who is an artist, he does a lot of. He's a fan of Japanese anime. He's also a fan of the television shows, the cartoons, the movies, or whatnot. So I just haven't been, I don't introduced the right way, I guess I should say. And Blake, was you A B? Don't laugh. Sailor Moon was tight, right? And the Sailor Scouts, right? We were at Hot Topic the other day, my niece and I, Saturday, and Hot Topic has become my new favorite store because it has all the pop culture stuff in there. Ton of pop culture, but they had a Sailor Moon outfit, and I told my niece she should get it because we're planning on going to Indianapolis PopCon at the end of the month. Just go drive up there for one day and check that out because Xander Harris, aka Nicholas Brandon, aka Xander Harris from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is going to be there, and there are going to be a lot of artists there, and I want to get some of my blank convention variant copies artwork done on them. So we'll see how that all works out. So hopefully, Blake, did you get to participate in Free Comic Book Day? Because where are you guys from? Because there's an accent. I think you guys English. And then I'm going to see Ken Boggle. Hopefully, he gave me some news today, but hopefully I get to see Ken Boggle at Scarefest in September. But I'm just curious if you get to go to Free Comic Book Day on the last weekend on Saturday. I had a big Free Comic Book Day over here in the States. So what else? So Amazon, I got the trades, and I also, you guys know Wonder Woman is my most favorite female superhero. She would have to be, well, I've started and I didn't want to do this, but I have absolutely no place to put them. I'm gonna have to buy a bookshelf just to keep my graphic novels that I plan on picking up, and my HeroClix figures, and my new kind of passion, my pop figures. Now, I was talking about Hot Topic. Sometimes you can get phenomenal deals. Once their stuff goes clearance, a lot of times you can go to Hot Topic and buy one, get one free. So I got the General Zod pop figure for, I think, $4 or $5, and they're normally like 8 to 10. But then with my Amazon gift card, I bought Wonder Woman and Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix is my second favorite female hero, and then it's Rogue, then it's then it's Storm, then it's Rogue. Anyhow, so I got Wonder Woman. I think it's a new 52 one, and Dark Phoenix pop figures. Uh-oh. Well, my ears haven't been sensitive since 1977, Blake. So I think I'll be all right. Ken says, reminds me of my favorite Big Bang Theory episode where they dressed as the Justice League. Oh, I missed that. And somebody was talking about the Big Bang Theory the other day. They were saying the Big Bang Theory is just a big advertisement for pop culture, which when you think about it, it is. What's the tall guy? He wears a Green Lantern shirt, and so I watch it from time to time. And also Blossom's on there. Everybody loves Blossom, but what was I saying? So I've got the pop figures. I got Wonder Woman and Phoenix. Which I was kind of mad about the Phoenix because I read it wrong. It's a pop figure bobblehead, and I don't like bobbleheads, but it's Dark Phoenix, so it's cool. I'll live, I'll survive, and not like Gloria Gaynor survive. Don't get it twisted. Well, maybe a little bit. Anyhow, So we ended up there. That was my Amazon thing, and then I was finishing up. I told you about what I told you about Mother's Day, and I talked about my big super comic book haul. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to visually see what I'm picking up comic book wise, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com/the blurred HQ, TheBlerdHQ, you can see all my comic books in living HD color. And I do a review once a week. I did 2 this week, once a week on the comic books I've picked up for the week. Ken said they all from time to time wear the Green Lantern shirt. I just noticed that. Oh, really? I didn't know that. No, you're not looking at me on YouTube. Yes, Blake, my personal my my personal you Facebook, and I'll put it in the chat room. And then if you type this, the Blurred HQ on Facebook, and the 5x5, that's Facebook, and then at the 5x5 on Twitter. Oh, one funny guy on Instagram. See, I'm all over the place. I social media way too much. I need to bring that on down a little bit because it's starting to annoy even me, and I don't get annoyed by stuff like that. So, all in all, and did you guys know? And I want to see this movie. I don't want to admit that I want to see this movie, the Neighbors movie. It knocked Spider-Man this weekend out of the #1 spot. We do have 2 finales coming this week. Tuesday we have the finale, the big fight, the big showdown on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They are coming back for a second season. All of our favorites, Sky, Agent Coulson, he found me. All of our favorites from that show will be back, and then also the season finale of Arrow will be on Wednesday night. So I'm looking forward to those. Those are 2 of my fanboy television shows that I watch. They should be really big. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is already getting a spinoff. They're going to do Agent Carter television show, and what's going to happen, Agent Carter is going to be shown during the hiatus, while the summer hiatus, while then S.H.I.E.L.D. will come back in the fall, but Agent Carter is going to be in the summer. I don't know if it's going to start this summer, probably not, probably next summer. We'll see the Agent Carter series, and they're all going to be tied in through the movies with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So very, very cool stuff there. Arrow's ending. Right? Selfless promotion, right? I'm a social media whore, and I need to stop it, right? So that's what we have looking for. I don't know if you guys watch, but then there's a lot of shows that got canceled. Like the Tomorrow People was canceled. What else got canceled? Something else got canceled. Oh, and then Star-Crossed, and I was invested in that show. Canceled. So I'm not even gonna watch the 2 episodes that I'm behind. There's no need. I don't know if they're gonna get a final wrap up, but it's over. Thanks for joining us, Blake. Thank you so much. Thank you for following me on Facebook. I just seen it. And hey, I will be checking you out more and more and more. And we'll see you next time. Tell Jade I said hey. Everybody, that is Blake and Jade for the Blake and Jade Show. Check them out on Spreaker.com. And this Thursday, the one and only Ken Boggle will be back with episode 2 of Ken Boggle Talk Season 2. And what about the Marvel? I want to see the Marvel Live show, but they're not going to be here in the city. I'd have to go to Louisville to see Marvel Live. It looks really interesting, and we're getting all the advertisements on television. But depending on how much it costs, I might go. Whenever, wherever it's going to be. Yeah, just me and Ken Boggle. Ken Boggle's my ride or die. Everybody needs a ride or die. Y'all know how that goes. Everybody needs a ride or die, and Ken Boggle will be my ride or die. He listens and he puts up with all my fanboy stuff. The way I go on about talking about comic books and stuff like that. That would get on somebody's nerve. It gets on my nerve sometime. But hey, that's what friends are for. Well, we're going to take one more break, and I'm going to come back and tell you my favorite superhero moms, and then we'll wrap up. Thank you guys for listening. It is the 5x5 Fanboy Weekly Show. We'll be right back.
I'm secretly in love with you. I'm secretly in love with you. If I told you what I think about concerning you, do you think that you would want me? If I told you when you lick your lips what it do, it makes me go crazy. If I read you all the love letters that I wrote that I never sent to you, if I told you that I loved you, would it mean anything to you? I'm secretly in love with you. What would you do if I told you what I'm going through? I'm secretly in love with you. What would you do if I told you that I loved you? If I told you, what would you do? If I told you that I stayed awake half the night, imagining we're making babies. If I told you that the perfume that you wear, it really stimulates me. If I told you that I talk about you to my friends, you would think that they would know you. If I told you that I loved you, would it mean anything to you? I'm secretly in love with you. What would you do if I told you what I'm going through? I'm secretly in love with you. What would you do if I told you that I loved you? If I told you, what would you do? If I told you I'm in love with you. If I told you that I had a secret crush on you, what would you do? If I told you that I was so in love with you, what would you do? I'm secretly in love with you. I'm secretly in love with you. I'm secretly in love with you. What what would you do?
And we're back. Welcome to the 5x5 Fanboy Weekly. I'm your host, David. And we're just nerding out a little bit, chatting it out with Ken Boggle, Blake and Jade, Prankville, and now Granddaddy Al, who's joined us in the chat room. What's up, Granddaddy Al? How you doing? And why are you impressed with me, Ken Boggle? I'm not that impressive. I dress real cute when I want to go out and do stuff, but I'm not that impressive. You know what? I'm sitting here. Every time we go to break, I've been tearing up these chips from Hacienda that my mother and I had during our mother and son Mother's Day lunch today. And I'm tearing these chips up, because they have the best ranch dressing in the world. And I like the cheese, but for me, their ranch dressing is far better than the cheese. And I'm tearing it up. And then I've been sitting here thinking about breakfast food because my sister, she made these breakfast croissants that had like bacon and egg and cheese. I don't know how she did it, and she stuffed it inside them. When I tell you, yesterday morning, I had to stop myself and leave the house from eating these things because they were so good. And I'm still talking about them. I've been talking about them for almost 48 hours now. And I'm like, she was going to make some today, but she slept in. And I'm like, girl, I need some more of those breakfast croissant biscuit things, because when I tell you that those were the tea, and when I say the tea, that means they were the truth. They were the tea, because it was really, really good. Anyhow, enough of that, because now I'm starving. And I don't have nothing but chips to eat. Well, Granddaddy Al, what was going on? I didn't know you had to have surgery. What's up with that? What's going on? So, before we went to break, I was going to tell you who my favorite superhero moms are. Number one for me, and I'll give you guys 5, if I can think of 5. Number one for me has to be Queen Hippolyta. Who Queen Hippolyta is. She is the Amazon princess's mother, Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. Well, not Diana Prince, just Princess Diana. Wonder Woman, Queen Hippolyta. She's my favorite mom. She did everything for Wonder Woman. In the past, she's rigged the new contest, from the Wonder Woman mythology. Wonder Woman had to disguise herself in the contest to go to Patriarch's world, which is our world, to take Steve Trevor back, and just because her mother wouldn't let her do it. A very good animation and a retelling of the Wonder Woman story is the Wonder Woman animated movie. So if you ever watch that, check it out. You'll find everything you need about Wonder Woman, that you can jump right into the comic books. But Queen Hippolyta, there was, in the comic books, there was a second contest. There was a second contest that she held in order to, because she had seen a future occurrence where the Wonder Woman had passed away. She didn't know if it was her daughter, but she knew her daughter was the current Wonder Woman, and herself had took on the mantle of Wonder Woman in the past. But so she rigged the contest so the third Wonder Woman, which was Artemis, who always wanted to be the champion of the Amazons, would be killed in place of Diana. So she does anything for her daughter. She actually molded, in the original mythology, she actually molded Diana from clay and gave her essence so she could be her daughter. So yes, Queen Hippolyta is my number one favorite comic book mom. Number two, even though I guess I talk about these two female characters all the time, even though Jean Grey has never, in the current continuity, the main continuity of the X-Men book, she's never given birth to a child. But she's been like a mother. She raised Cable. You know, Cable was the son of Madeline Pryor and Scott Summers, which Madeline Pryor was a clone of Jean Grey that's Mr. Sinister made. And so she raised him in the future, so he could be able to defeat Apocalypse. And then she also accepted Rachel Summers, the final incarnation of the Phoenix. She finally accepted her as a daughter, which she was a daughter from a different timeline. And the X-Man, who was her son from the Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse timeline. And she embraced all those as her children. And she's really the mother of the X-Man, so to speak. So she's my number 2. My number 3 would have to be, that's a hard one. We're gonna say Marge Simpson. Marge Simpson is gonna be my number 3 because with badass Bart, you know, whiny ass Lisa, and baby Maggie. Marge Simpson's doing big things, baby. Blue hair and all. She still keeps Homer Simpson in check. Marge Simpson is my number 3. And this is a new one, you guys. I used to watch this show with my nephew. You guys remember Arthur the cartoon? The mama off Arthur is a diva. And with DW's bad little ass, she she handles DW, and plus any woman that names her child Dora Winifred Reed, you know, she's a mama, you know. And so number 4, who's my number 4 favorite comic book mother? It would have to be Jubilee, even though I don't know what I don't know a lot of the story because I don't pick up a lot of those X-Men books, because you know Jubilee now is a vampire. She has a baby, and she's a young single mother, obviously. So we're gonna give kudos to Jubilee. So what else is going on? I'm reading some things that are kind of disturbing in the chat room about Grandpa Al, and I'm sorry. I'm glad you're feeling much better. Oh, 7 years is a long time. Well, we're glad you're back onto the road of recovery, Granddaddy Al. Because that 7 years is a long time to be in pain. That's kind of wild. But thank you guys for listening. I think we're going to end right there. I'm a little over an hour. You know, I like to try to talk a little hour. We're at 68 minutes. Check out all my other shows. Like I said, you can check me out on YouTube now, The Blurred HQ, and subscribe and check out all the comic books that I've been collecting as of late. And also, I have a call-in show on Blog Talk Radio, blogtalkradio.com/comic booked, COMICBOOKED, every Thursday at 9 o'clock. Just before Ken Boggle comes on at midnight, which is 11 o'clock for me. Check that show out. I've given my multiple social media addresses tonight, so you can check me out there. What's next? What's coming up next for Fanboy Weekly? We're gonna have a break. I'll still be doing the show, so we won't talk about comic books as much. We'll talk about some other things. I do have The Killing Joke that I've ordered from Amazon because I had to use my credit. That's one graphic novel. Trade paperback that I never owned, and I was thinking, I'm like, I need to own that. That was when Joker shot Batgirl and she was paralyzed and became Oracle. So I'll have that. I think Wednesday will be here. So I'll be happy to get that. I want to finish up Saga Volume 2 and choose issue number 1, then look for all the other comic book issues that I've missed. In the past, so I'm, like I said, I'm completing my runs. New stuff coming out this week that I'm getting for all you new Comic Book Day Twitterers. Things: Batman Eternal number 6, Futures End, which turned out to be a great book. Number 2, Superman Doomed number 1, Superman Wonder Woman number 8, Afterlife with Archie number 5 will be out. And those are the 5 books that I'm getting this week. There's not much else that's coming out. I thought Inferno number 2 would be out, but it's not. You can always go to comicbookresources.com and see what new comic books are coming out each Wednesday, which is Wednesday is New Comic Book Day. What else? I don't think there's much else. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Grandpa Al. Thank you, Ken Boggle. Thank you, Blake and Jay. Thank you, Prankville. I will see you guys later on this week for a 5x5 late night show, and we'll see you next time.